Hi, Paul Sakis. Good news broadcast, and pause the world for peace, actually. And I'm going to emphasize that because we do the Earth Day concerts, and we've been involved with climatic concerns for 20, 30 years or so. And we're going to be talking today about climate and concerns and 2024 as a potential for extreme disasters. That's not a good news word. To upend lives and communities across the United States. But good news is the American Red Cross, and we're here with Jennifer Pippa. Hi, Jennifer. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, sir. How about yourself?
I'm very good. Actually, we've made a lot of stories with the Red Cross over the years, even the president and so on and so forth. Because you guys do great things, and you are always out there in situations that are concerning. So tell us why you think this year will be worse than potentially others.
So I think this is unfortunately just one in the line of many years that we have coming, right? So if you look back at 2023, absolutely a record year of extreme climate and weather disasters. It was the planet's hottest year on record. It also had the greatest number of billion-dollar disasters. And the outlook for this year, not any better. Above average temperatures across all the northern states, a drier West Coast, which means that we are more likely to experience a higher wildfire risk. The ocean temperatures, which are incredibly warm, which is absolutely a recipe for an above-average hurricane season. But here's the other piece. It isn't just about the coasts. It's about the interior of the U.S. We're seeing more and more severe storms all the way across the U.S. Things like frontline winds and extreme rainstorms, tornadoes, those kinds of things that can't always be predicted. And so what we're seeing as an organization is we're not just being challenged on the typical stuff that we historically have seen. We're seeing more disasters that are more severe, happening more frequently across more communities. And that is really where the American Red Cross sits right now. And we're being challenged to probably have an absolutely almost near continuous response season this year.
Tell us how can a person prepare themselves, and how can the Red Cross help in this way?
There's really a couple of simple steps. I know it can be overwhelming to think about what is my most likely disaster and how can I prepare myself and my family to make sure that my community is more resilient. 3 simple steps. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. If you live in an evacuation area, you want to know your evacuation zone. You want to listen to those evacuations. You want to know that well ahead of time and make sure that you're prepared. The second is you want to build an emergency kit. Most of the stuff you need inside your house already, right? Non-perishable foods, a flashlight and batteries, cell phone charger. But there are sometimes things that people don't think about that are really critical that they want to have in that kit. Copies of important papers, insurance documents, birth certificates, those kinds of things. You want to make sure you take those with you, as well as any medications that you might be taking on a regular and ongoing basis. And then the third is stay informed, be weather aware. And you can do that by listening to local officials and your local broadcasts, but we also have an emergency app. You can put in your location. We'll send you alerts if you have severe storms, flooding, wildfire risks, any of those, as well as checklists in there to help your family prepare if you're impacted by a disaster, what to do next, and then even a checklist on how to navigate your long road to recovery if your family is impacted by a disaster.
How does the Red Cross stay in business?
Well, it's a great question, right?
Who pays the Uncle Sam? No. Who pays the Red Cross?
A lot of people. No, it is a great question. A lot of people believe that we are funded by the government, but in fact, we rely on the generosity of the American public to support our mission. And we don't just rely on that when a big disaster happens and it makes national news. We rely on the generosity of donors for all of those disasters. We respond to about 65,000 disasters a year, and we have to make sure that we have enough volunteers and enough material resources to support, and that is why we rely on the generosity of donors to support the Red Cross to help us deliver the mission of the Red Cross.
Now, you have a Red Cross Giving Day. What is that?
We do. It's on March 27th. It's a moment in time for us to really talk to the American public about, one, how much we appreciate their historic financial support of our organization, but also help them understand that these disasters are becoming more frequent. And as an organization, we are more challenged than ever to make sure that we are present in communities and ready to deliver at a moment's notice. And this is why we spend this time talking to the American public and asking them to financially support the American Red Cross so that we can be ready to deliver that mission alongside other nonprofits and local communities if they're impacted by a disaster.
One of the things I recollect when I spoke with some of the other people over the years were home fires and problems in houses, and you all helping help people get situated after situations like that.
Yeah, it's actually what we refer to as the silent disaster because, unfortunately, those don't ever make the news. But we respond to hundreds of calls for assistance every night across the U.S. to help families who've become displaced because of a house fire. And that means that families, that live in large houses and small houses all need help because when a fire takes away your car keys and your wallet and your cell phone, you turn to the American Red Cross for us to help. And we have volunteers that show up in the middle of the night on your doorstep and provide financial assistance and hope and help to start navigating that recovery, whether it is just one family and one house in a community or whether it is thousands of families and thousands of homes that are impacted.
Is there an international presence for the Red Cross? Some other countries I've heard have other types of organizations as well. Or is the Red Cross around the world?
We are. So we are the American Red Cross, but there are national societies all across the U.S. And I would tell you, if you've seen one Red Cross, you've seen one Red Cross. Other societies have different areas of expertise that they focus on. For us, we really focus on maintaining the nation's blood supply and supporting that, disaster response domestically, training people in life-saving first aid and CPR, service to the armed forces, which is where we support deployed military and emergency communications as well, as an international arm that we have inside the American Red Cross that connects with other societies. So we can actually make sure that we're domestically prepared to respond, but also be there as a part of a larger team and help other societies when they become impacted by disasters.
Is there anything else we should know, Jennifer, at this moment, takeaways?
Yeah, absolutely. Not everybody can afford to support our organization with financial donations, and there are other ways that you can support. You can raise your hand and become a Red Cross volunteer. Just go to redcross.org, put in your zip code, and we'll connect you with your local chapter. The other thing you can do is roll up your sleeve and donate a pint of blood. We're responsible for almost 40% of the nation's blood supply, and we rely on the generosity of donors to roll up their sleeve and donate their blood as well. Both really easy ways to help support the Red Cross mission beyond just supporting us financially.
Okay, I understand. I know about the blood donation. I guess me and my daughter were the first ones in the Red Cross on 9/11. In any case, way back when. So, another time. So, Jennifer, listen, I do the World Earth Day concert, Times Square, right in the middle, all right? Live worldwide broadcast, and I'm inviting you right now to join us on April 22nd. It's coming up, and we've been doing this stuff for a long, long time. So I'll just reach out and see if you or a representative can come on the stage and just say some of the things you just shared with us. Very important.
Absolutely. We'd be happy to make that happen.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing the good news.
Thank you.